What if I told you that one single supplement cheaper than your morning coffee, safer than most vitamins you already take, could help you build muscle, get stronger, recover faster, think more clearly, and even fight off brain fog? You'd probably think it sounds too good to be true, right? Well, that supplement is real. It's been studied for decades. It has over 500 published studies behind it. And its name is creatine. Hey, welcome back to Wellness Nest. I'm Dr. Wells, Senior Strength, and today we are doing a full, deep dive breakdown on creatine, what it actually is, what the science says about your muscles and your brain, how much you should take, who needs it, who doesn't, and we're going to bust every single myth you've ever heard about it. Whether you've been taking creatine for years or you've always been a little skeptical of it, stick around, because by the end of this video, you are going to see this molecule in a completely new light. Let's get into it. What is creatine? Let's start with the basics. What even is creatine? Creatine is a natural compound made from amino acids, specifically arginine, glycine, and methionine. Your body actually produces it on its own, mostly in your liver and kidneys. And it's stored primarily in two places, your muscles and your brain. Its job? To help your cells produce rapid energy. Specifically, creatine helps regenerate ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is basically the energy currency your body uses for every explosive movement, a heavy squat, a sprint, a set of push-ups. Now, your body makes some creatine naturally, and you can get small amounts from food. Red meat and fish both contain creatine. But here's the catch: you would need to eat roughly 7 pounds of red meat per day to get enough creatine to actually saturate your muscles. That's not only wildly impractical, it's also way more expensive compared to just taking a supplement. So that's why supplementation makes sense. And creatine monohydrate, the basic, plain, white powder form, is by far the most well-studied, most effective, and most affordable way to do it. Quick note here: if anyone tries to sell you a superior form of creatine HCl, buffered creatine, creatine ethyl ester, just walk away. Creatine monohydrate outperforms all of them in studies, and it costs a fraction of the price. Don't fall for the marketing. What creatine does for your muscles: when you take creatine consistently over several weeks, it gradually saturates your muscle cells. Your muscles start storing more phosphocreatine, that's the active form of creatine, which means you have more rapid energy available during high-intensity exercise. The result? You can do more reps, lift heavier weights, and push harder during training. And over time, that extra training volume compounds into more lean muscle mass and more strength. This isn't just gym bro science. This is well-replicated, peer-reviewed research. Creatine is one of the most studied supplements in sports science history. Now, one thing people get confused about: creatine isn't magic. It's not going to pile muscle onto you just from taking it. It works by enhancing your ability to train harder and recover better, which then leads to the physical changes over time. A lot of people say, "I tried creatine before and didn't notice anything." Here's why that happens: if your training is inconsistent, if your nutrition is all over the place, the small but real benefit from creatine just gets lost in the chaos. You won't feel it if the rest of your lifestyle isn't dialed in. What about water weight? Yes, when you start taking creatine, your muscles pull in more water. That's actually a good thing. It makes your muscles look fuller, harder, and bigger. This is intramuscular water inside the muscle cells. It's not bloating. It's not fat. It's literally your muscles getting more hydrated and more full. That's why experienced creatine users notice they look bigger even on rest days. The brain benefits: this changes everything, alright. This is where things get really exciting, and honestly, this is the reason I'm making this video today, because most people have no idea about this. Creatine doesn't just live in your muscles. It also lives in your brain. And researchers are finding out that creatine has some genuinely remarkable benefits for cognitive function. We've seen improvements in depression in some studies. We've seen improvements in cognitive function across multiple research papers. Why the dose matters for your brain: here's the key insight: your muscles are very greedy. When you take 5 grams of creatine per day, your muscle cells absorb almost all of it. Very little actually makes it to your brain at that dose. But studies have shown that once you get to 10 grams per day, you start to see meaningful accumulation of creatine in the brain. At 10 grams a day, you're actually increasing creatine levels in certain brain regions in ways that lower doses simply don't achieve. This is why people who bump their creatine to 10 grams daily often report things like clearer thinking, less afternoon mental fatigue, better focus, and a general feeling of being more mentally switched on throughout the day. Now, the cognitive benefits tend to shine brightest under conditions of stress, brain aging, sleep deprivation, depression. But think about it, how many of us are chronically stressed? Modern life work stress, financial stress, emotional stress, poor sleep is a constant form of brain stress. And that's exactly where creatine at 10 grams a day appears to help. The sleep deprivation study, here's a study that genuinely blew my mind. Researchers sleep-deprived participants for 21 hours. Then they gave them a single large dose of creatine 0.35 grams per kilogram of body weight. For an average adult, that's roughly 25 to 30 grams in one sitting. The results? That single large dose actually attenuated, meaning it blunted and reduced some of the negative cognitive effects of sleep deprivation. The cognitive performance decline was less pronounced. Now, I want to be clear, this doesn't mean you can just skip sleep. Take creatine and perform normally. That's not what the research says. What it suggests is that a high dose of creatine may help you function better under conditions of severe sleep loss like an all-nighter or a long-haul flight across time zones. Some researchers and health experts have reported taking 20 to 25 grams of creatine when they're sleep-deprived and need to be mentally sharp for a presentation or a critical meeting. They describe it as a brain boost without the jittery, anxious feeling you can get from too much caffeine. Alzheimer's and mental health. There's also emerging research on creatine and Alzheimer's disease. A small pilot study, no placebo control, so take it with a grain of salt, gave people with Alzheimer's disease around 20 grams of creatine per day and saw improvements in cognition. The direction of the evidence is consistent. Creatine appears to have real value for brain health under stress, aging, and disease conditions. Busting the MYTHS myth number 1, creatine damages your kidneys. This comes from a misunderstanding of a blood test. When you take creatine, your body breaks it down into creatinine, a standard marker doctors use to screen for kidney health. So people see elevated creatinine and panic. But it goes up simply because you're putting more creatine into your body, not because your kidneys are failing. Always tell your doctor you're taking creatine before blood panels. The actual research, including studies in people with existing kidney dysfunction, shows creatine not only doesn't harm the kidneys, some studies show it actually improved kidney health markers. Myth number 2, creatine causes hair loss. This traces back to a single 2009 study that found an increase in DHT, a metabolite associated with hair loss. But they did not actually measure hair loss. It was a mechanistic study, and it has never been replicated. Not once. If creatine were truly causing meaningful hair loss, we would have confirming studies by now. We don't. Myth number 3, creatine is a steroid. No. Creatine is a naturally occurring compound found in meat and produced by your own body. It is not a hormone, not a controlled substance, and not a steroid in any medical, legal, or biochemical sense. Myth number 4, you need a loading phase. The loading phase does work to saturate muscles faster, but it's not necessary. Simply take 5 grams per day consistently. And within 3 to 4 weeks your muscles will be fully saturated. Myth number 5, you need to cycle creatine. Nope. No scientific basis for cycling. Take it every day, indefinitely. Your body doesn't become dependent on it in any harmful way. How much should you take? For muscle performance, 5 grams per day. This saturates your muscle cells over time and gives you the strength, lean mass, and recovery benefits. For brain benefits, 10 grams per day. At this dose, your brain starts to actually accumulate creatine meaningfully. Many health-conscious people now target 10 grams daily as a baseline for both body and brain. For acute sleep deprivation, 20 to 30 grams as a one-time dose, roughly 0.35 g/kg body weight. Not for everyday use, but useful for specific situations like overnight travel or an all-nighter before a big day. A practical tip: creatine dissolves much better in warm water than cold water. Getting it fully dissolved makes it more bioavailable. You can also mix it into your morning coffee or smoothie without any problem. And timing? It doesn't matter much. Pre-workout, post-workout, morning, night consistency matters far more than timing. Just take it every day, including rest days. Creatine for women. Creatine is absolutely appropriate and beneficial for women. It is not just for men or bodybuilders. Here's a fact that surprises most people: women naturally have 70 to 80% lower creatine stores than men. And hormonal transitions, menstruation, pregnancy, perimenopause, menopause, further reduce creatine availability in the body. This means women may actually need creatine supplementation more than men. A 2021 study showed that creatine significantly improved strength, mood, and brain function in women, especially during hormonal transitions. For women in their 40s going through perimenopause, this is particularly relevant. At this life stage, muscle mass declines. Brain energy drops, hormones fluctuate, and creatine addresses all three of those things directly. Will it make you bulky? No. Bloated? No. It's going to help you maintain and build lean muscle, support your brain, and improve your recovery. Standard recommendation for women: 3 to 5 grams of creatine monohydrate per day. For brain benefits, consider bumping to 10 grams. One note: avoid creatine if you have kidney or liver disease, high blood pressure, or if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. How to choose the right creatine? It's simple: creatine monohydrate is all you need. It is the most studied, most effective, most affordable form of creatine ever tested. Anything else is either equal or inferior. And always more expensive. What to look for: 100% pure creatine monohydrate with no fillers, third-party tested for purity, and micronized form if possible. It dissolves better and is gentler on the stomach. At Wellness Nest, we believe in keeping things clean and evidence-based. Our Wellness Nest creatine monohydrate is micronized, third-party tested, and pure, no proprietary blends, no hidden ingredients, no gimmicks. Just the molecule that the research actually supports. You'll find the link in the description below. Quick summary: just do this: take creatine monohydrate every single day. No cycling needed. For muscles, 5 grams per day. For brain benefits, 10 grams per day. For acute sleep deprivation situations, 20 to 30 grams as a one-time dose. Dissolve it in warm water, or mix into coffee or a smoothie. Timing doesn't matter, just be consistent. Tell your doctor you're taking it before blood panels. Drink plenty of water. And if you stop taking creatine, your creatine stores gradually return to normal. You don't lose any of the progress you built while taking it. You just lose the ongoing benefit. Alright, that's your complete creatine deep dive. We covered the muscle science, the brain science, the myths, the dosing, the gender differences, and how to pick a quality product. Honestly, creatine is one of the few supplements where the evidence is so strong and the safety profile is so clean that it's genuinely hard to argue against taking it, especially if you're someone who wants to stay strong, think clearly, and perform at your best as you age. If this video helped you, please give it a like. It genuinely helps this channel grow. Drop your questions or experiences with creatine down in the comments. I read everything. And if you're new here at Wellness Nest, welcome. We break down real science into practical, actionable information every week. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself.